My name is Tim Tetrick, and I'm a Partner Technology Strategist with Microsoft. And I'd just like to spend the next 20 minutes or so walking you through a hands-on demonstration of Office 365, and really want to focus this demonstration on the user experience to give you a feel for what it's like actually using and interacting with Office 365 on a daily basis. And as I go through the demo, I'll be focusing on not only the great productivity capabilities, but also looking at the nice integration that exists across the services. Services including Office, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Lync Online, and Yammer. So what you're looking at here is the Outlook desktop client. That's part of the Office 365 Pro Plus client that comes with Office 365. So just want to show off a few of the many capabilities that exist. So first thing I want to talk about is touch mode. So touch mode allows you to quickly and easily toggle between a touch mode and a mouse and keyboard mode. So, with all these different types of devices we're seeing coming out in the marketplace, sometimes you might want to utilize Office in a touch mode. And again, this works with not only Outlook, but all the Office applications. You have this great ability to toggle between mouse and keyboard and a touch mode. So let's say if I want to interact with Outlook via touch mode here, I can go into touch mode. You see it kind of spaces everything out, optimizes it for that touch experience. I also get these nice little quick actions over here on the right, very convenient to use on like a tablet or a slate. And then again, depending on what type of device I'm on, depending on how I want to interact with the device, maybe I want to toggle back into that mouse and keyboard mode. I can quickly and easily do that. You see it kind of tighten everything up, optimizing it for that mouse and keyboard experience. I also want to talk a little bit about Office apps. So there is an Office App Store with apps, just like the app stores that you're used to using in your life. There's now an Office App Store with apps that work with all the different Office applications. And just to show you a quick example of that, here's an Outlook app called the Bing Map app. And what it does is it installs into Outlook, and every time it sees an address in an email, it'll automatically pop the Bing Map app. And then what I can do is click on that with a single click. It will automatically map that address right in line within the Outlook experience. And not just a static map here. I can scroll in and out. I can move around. I can get directions, pop out and view into a large map. So just a cool little, like a lot of apps in your life, give you this great ability to, make you more productive, save time, things like that. So you can think, typically if I, got an email address or an address in an email, I'd have to, copy that, open a browser, navigate to a mapping application, paste that in. Now with just one click of the mouse, I can automatically map that address right within the Outlook experience without having to leave the Outlook experience at all. So again, just a cool little capability. Encourage you to go out to the Office App Store, and there's a whole bunch of great little apps out there, many of them free. Be sure and check them out. I also want to talk a little bit about the online archive. So Office 365 includes an online archive. You can kind of think of it like a PST file in the cloud. So, PST files, have some issues with them, right? They're only available on the local machine. They aren't necessarily backed up. And if you lose them in a hard drive crash, you could lose all that information. So really seeing people move from the old PST model into this new online archive model. With the online archive, it sits up in the cloud. It's backed up and secure in Microsoft's data center. It also travels with you, as we'll see in just a few minutes. You can access it no matter where you happen to be. So with many plans within Office 365, the online archive is actually an unlimited storage archive in addition to the 50 gigabyte primary mailbox. So really alleviates storage issues. So a number of ways that you can deal or interact with the online archive. You can drag and drop items into it. You can set up folders just like you are used to doing. You can also set up policies, archiving policies, and say, whenever an item reaches a certain time period, automatically move it into the online archive for me. There's also some plans contain compliance archiving. So if you have the need to, put a hold on a mailbox so that if someone tries to delete or edit items, they're permanently retained for e-discovery. There's plans in Office 365 that also provide that compliance archiving for what we call litigation hold or in-place hold as well. So great calendaring capabilities that you've come to know and love with Outlook. Rich calendaring capabilities, the ability to share your calendar, the ability to view other people's calendars that have shared given permissions. You can share calendars side by side. You can share in this great little overlay capability, which is a really convenient way for finding availability across multiple people. But the same rich, really nice calendaring capabilities in Outlook. Also your contacts. So here's all your contacts now called people. You have full access to those as well. So with Office 365, we like to talk about this consistent experience of your email, calendar, contacts across not only your PC or your Mac, like we just looked at here with the Outlook desktop application, but also across browser and across mobile device as well. So let's look at the browser experience here first. So this is the Office 365 portal that you'll be logging into. Works on cross-browser support, so not just IE, but also on Firefox, Chrome, Safari on the Mac. Has this great little app launcher navigation experience, so no matter where I happen to be in the portal, no matter what app I happen to be in, I can always go up into this app launcher in the top left corner, and it gives me a single point of access to all the services available to a user. And you'll see that as we show off many of the apps through the demonstration here. So first one I want to talk about is Outlook Web App, or OWA. So OWA gives you anywhere access to your email from virtually anywhere. So again, cross-browser support. You can, if you happen to be at a shared computer, on a friend's machine, a kiosk, you can still get full access to your email through Outlook Web App. And as you'll notice, this interface is very similar to the Outlook desktop client. So if you're used to using Outlook, there's no need for you to learn a new interface. It's a very comfortable experience for you. And we're seeing a lot of the rich features and capabilities of the Outlook desktop client make their way into OWA as well. So things like the reading pane, things like conversation view, the ability to drag and drop, the ability to right mouse click and get a pop-up context menu. Lots of those great rich capabilities making their way into the OWA browser client. Also, again, look at calendaring. So very rich calendaring experience right within the browser, cross-browser support, again, the same ability to view other people's calendars subject to permissions, and then also, again, people or contacts, no matter where you happen to be, still access to all your contacts. And we don't really have time to show it, but great mobile device access capabilities within Office 365 too. So Office 365 works with all major mobile devices that support the ActiveSync protocol. So that includes Windows phones, Windows tablets, iPhone, iPad, Android devices, and all the different types of devices have native platform apps for accessing the Office 365 services. So there's native apps for viewing and editing your Office documents, for accessing OneDrive and Lync, and we're going to be looking at those in just a second. For Office, there's Office for iPad, Office Mobile for iPhone, Office Mobile for Android. There's OWA for iOS and Android. All of those great capabilities included as part of Office 365, giving you that great experience accessing Office 365 across multiple different types of devices. Okay, now I'd like to talk a little bit about Lync Online. So Office 365 also includes Lync Online for instant messaging, presence, streaming audio and video, screen sharing, web conferencing, all together in one service. So there's a number of ways that you can interact with Lync. As we'll see in a second, Lync actually flows through the other services. But one of the popular ways to interact with Lync is via the Lync desktop client. So that's what we're seeing at here. Allows you to go in, set up groups of colleagues and coworkers that you frequently interact with. And as you can see, you'll get some immediate information back on those colleagues and coworkers. You're getting contact photos. You're also getting presence information. So if you're not familiar with presence, it's really the current status of users, of your colleagues and coworkers. And the value of it is it really helps you to make some really smart, efficient decisions about the best way to interact with your colleagues and coworkers. So, for example, let's say that I have a quick question for Amy here. So I can see that Amy, I check her status here, I see that she's actually away from her desk right now. She's in a yellow status, which means away. I'm not going to bother with trying to, hit her over instant messaging conversation or, go over to her desk or call her at her desk. Maybe I'll send her an email and she can respond back when she's available. But let's say here I have a quick question for Julian. In this case, I can see that he's green, which means he's in an available status. And so, again, can make some smart decisions off that. I know the best and most efficient ways to communicate and collaborate with him based on his current status. So in this case, because he's available, maybe I'm going to just kick off a quick instant messaging conversation with him. And maybe I just start out, hi, Julian. Maybe we chat back and forth. I can, run my question by him. So as we're chatting back and forth here, maybe I'll have the need to escalate this IM conversation into more of a full-blown communication and collaboration session. So what's great about Lync is I can do that with just a click or two of the mouse. So I can escalate this IM conversation into a streaming audio call. I can turn it into a web conference by clicking here. You see I get a little video preview there before I start my video. I can also do screen sharing. So maybe I need to share my screen. I can share my desktop. I can share a specific program. I can upload a PowerPoint. We can do whiteboarding, polling, Q&A. I have all these capabilities available to me, again, picking the best way to communicate and collaborate that suits the situation. So again, so presence, super powerful here. Not only is, if a user's at their desk and available, they're going to show green status. If they're away or have locked their computer, they're going to go into a yellow away status. Lync also integrates with Exchange Online and Outlook so that if you're in a meeting, it'll automatically show your presence as busy, as a red or busy status, so people know that you're in a meeting and not available. And you can go in and change your status manually as well if you want. So as I mentioned, this instant messaging presence flows through the entire product suite of Office 365. And let's just take a quick look at that. So if we hop back over to Outlook, you'll see here presence in Outlook. So not only presence, if I hover over here, I get this nice little contact card. I get these little click to communicate buttons. So if I get this email from Amy, I see what her status is. I can hover over here and quickly reach out via IM, audio, video, email. I have these click to communicate buttons, status flowing into Outlook as well. Also with Outlook web app. So let's go back to Outlook web app. We'll see I have same thing, presence flowing in to Outlook web app, the ability to click here and get details, the contact card, the click to communicate buttons. Great experience of Lync Online with presence and these click to communicate buttons flowing through the other services as well. So what we just looked at here was an example of this kind of one-to-one communication collaboration session. But sometimes you have the need to do a scheduled web conference, and Lync Online can handle that as well. So go back to Outlook here. Let me just show you an example of this. Let's say we have this email here, and let's say that I want to call a meeting based off of this email. In this case, I'm going to invite all employees to this meeting. Now let's say that I know that some of my employees are going to be remote, so I want to turn this into a remote web conference so that those employees can join remotely. So what's really great, a nice integration story here between Lync and Outlook, is I get this Lync meeting plugin right here within Outlook. It allows me with just one click of the mouse, I can automatically turn any meeting into a remote web conference. So as people get ready to join this remote web conference, they can just click the Join the Lync meeting. You'll see if they have the Lync desktop client on their machine, they'll come up with the same experience that we just looked at a second ago, and the same ability with all the same workloads available. So I can do instant messaging, audio, streaming video, desktop sharing, screen sharing, program sharing, all those same capabilities available to me in a scheduled web conference, just like they were to me in a one-to-one communication and collaboration session. And this actually works with both internal and external attendees, and up to 250 total attendees this works with. So great to use internal to your organization or with your external customers and partners as well. And if someone goes to join a Lync web conference and they do not have the Lync desktop client that we just looked at here, no problem. They will automatically be prompted to download and install the Lync web app. So it's a free download, cross-browser support, give them all the same capabilities that we just looked at. Again, instant messaging, audio, video streaming, screen sharing, all those same capabilities available to the user, whether they're using the Lync desktop client or the Lync web app. You can even, with the Lync web app, have that user elevate them as a presenter so that they could share their screen back to you. Lots of capabilities there. So, I've really seen web conferencing used for a number of different really creative things, seen customers using it for things like remote desktop troubleshooting, for IT, seen it used for trainings, for sales presentations. You can even record, say, a training and for people to view it after the fact, but really can help you save time and travel costs for things that used to maybe have to travel out to. A lot of those things can be done via a Lync web conference. Okay, now I want to finish up talking a little bit about OneDrive for Business, Sharepoint Online, and just a little bit about Yammer as well. So first let's talk about OneDrive for Business. So let's go back into our Office 365 portal, go back into the app launcher here. Let's go into our OneDrive for Business. So OneDrive for Business is really your personal document library, the place for you to store and share your work documents and other files from the cloud. So each user gets 1 terabyte of space for storage in just their OneDrive for Business repository. And soon that's going to be going to an unlimited storage. So great cloud storage capabilities. Again, each user getting 1 terabyte of space today, going to unlimited storage in the future. So just walk you through some of the capabilities here within OneDrive for Business. First of all, you can look at, here's all your OneDrive for Business documents. You can see all the documents that other people have shared with you. You can go into your recycle bin. Anything that gets deleted stays in the recycle bin for at least 90 days in case you accidentally deleted something. So great capabilities there. So let me show you some of the capabilities here within OneDrive for Business. And the things I'm getting ready to show you are applicable to not only OneDrive for Business, but to also SharePoint Online team sites. So keep that in mind. We're going to talk about SharePoint team sites in a second. All these capabilities I'm about ready to show you apply to both here. So first thing I want to show you is document previewing. So as you're looking through maybe, for a specific document here, really great that I get this nice little preview capability. So I don't have to open the whole document as I'm looking for something. I can just get this preview, go through here. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Go on to the next one. Very nice experience. Also, by default, when I load a document, it'll load into Office Online, in this case PowerPoint Online. For this PowerPoint document, gives me viewing and light editing from any browser right within the browser. Cross-browser support, great story to tell there. If I want to edit this, I can do light editing in Online, Office Online, or if I have the full Office installed, I can edit in this case, the full PowerPoint Office app as well. So document previewing, viewing and editing through Office Online. The sharing experience is just really great with for OneDrive for Business and SharePoint Online. So let me show you that real quick. So sharing, I can share a document, I can share a folder, I can share an entire site if I want to. Again, this applies to both SharePoint Online team sites and OneDrive for Business. But what I can do here is select a document, say share. You'll see I get this nice little intuitive sharing interface here. I can go in and put in the names and email addresses of people that I want to share the document with. I can choose what kinds of rights I want them to have, edit rights, view rights. I can require them to sign in or send it anonymously. I can also just get a link if I want to. Maybe I want to just grab a link to include in another document. I can certainly do that as well. So not only sharing, but also managing sharing. So I can go back in and any file or folder that I've shared already will have this little icon to show me that I've shared it already. I can click on that and then manage my existing sharing. So I can go back in. I can, remind myself exactly who the document has been shared with. I can see what rights they have. I can change those rights. I can stop sharing. You can see here I'm sharing with Julian and Dan here. Again, change those rights, stop sharing if I want to. I can go and invite new people. I could email everyone. Let's say if I have an update of a document, I want to just quickly notify everyone that I'm sharing with. I could do that here. So great sharing capabilities both internally and externally. Also syncing. So I get offline syncing, again with OneDrive for Business and with SharePoint team sites. I can say sync here. It'll let me know that my files are syncing. I say show my files. And we'll see here, this is an offline version of all my files in OneDrive for Business. So I get offline syncing. If, maybe I'm going to be, off the internet for a while, I'll still have access to all my OneDrive for Business files. And also, it's a two-way sync here. So maybe if I prefer to create documents locally, using Windows Explorer, as I create documents in here, they'll automatically be backed up to the cloud. They'll automatically sync up to the cloud so they're available from anywhere. So a great two-way syncing capability that I get here. I can upload files into the repository, or I can drag and drop, which is great. I can go in here and just find a file and just drag and drop to upload files. A very quick and easy way, a very nice interface with the browser-based interface for OneDrive for Business. Again, also applies to SharePoint Online. I can also do things like check in and check out. I can do check in and check out on documents, which is great. I can do versioning, so I can set up versioning. So as people go in and make changes, or as I make changes, I will see the different versions. So at any point I could go back, I could view or restore an old version, just in case a change was overwritten that I want back. It's still there when I have versioning turned on. I can see that different people that made changes. You see here going back to Lync Online and Presence and the communication cards also flowing into Lync here. So very nice experience there as well. Okay, so also want to talk just a little bit about Yammer. So just a couple words on Yammer. Yammer is really social networking for the enterprise. So, it looks a lot like, some consumer social networking tools that maybe you're used to using in your personal life, and really you get the same benefits with Yammer that you do in those consumer social networking tools, right? You get the ability to share things about yourself and to learn things about others, and collaborate and share in a way that you really can't do in any other way. So you'll see you get things like, activity feeds, and you can set up groups, and you get blogging and commenting. You can follow people and topics and conversations. Just a great sharing and collaborating experience as part of Yammer. Okay, so finally I want to talk a little bit about SharePoint Online team sites. We can go into sites here and take a look at that. So first we can manage specific or promote specific sites that we want our users to see. We can also follow specific team sites. Let's take a look here first at this Contoso team site. This is my my intranet site for my company, maybe very popular, application of SharePoint as a team site. I see here I have all of my different little sub-sites for all my groups in my organization, for maybe HR and operations and sales and marketing. Let's say I'll go into my sales and marketing site, go in under resellers. I can get team sites under here, maybe everyone that's working on the Northwind account can go in under this site to get things like information, get KPIs. I get Yammer feeds right within SharePoint, which is pretty cool. I get shared documents that we're working on as a project team. And again, within this document library, I get all the same things that we talked about, right? The ability to share, the ability to get preview, the ability to sync, the ability to do versioning, and all those great things available here as well. And also, just to go back to sites here, just to show you how easy it is to create a new site, I can, subject to permissions, I can go in here and just say new, create a brand new site. It takes just a few minutes to create, and then just to give you a sense for what it looks like, let's take a look at this new site here. Gives you this nice little wizard capability when you create a new site, allows you to quickly and easily go in and customize that new team site. So I can go in here and choose who I want to share the site with. Very intuitive, simple sharing, just like we looked at with document sharing. I can go in here and add calendars and timelines and things like that. I can go in here and add lists and libraries and apps. I can change this quickly and easily, change the look and feel, the style of the site through a number of themes and templates. I can change site, the branding to my site, add logos, descriptions, things like that. And just to show you real quickly here, for adding lists, libraries, and apps, let's just go in here real quick and I'll show you how easy this is to do. Here's a whole bunch of different types of lists and libraries, things that I can add, a document library, I can add a site mailbox, tasks, links, other things that I can add here. And then what's really cool is I talked a little bit earlier about Office apps and an Office app store. There's also a SharePoint app store. So I can go into the SharePoint app store and find a ton of different types of SharePoint apps that could be incorporated into my site. So you see there's a number of different type out here. You see there's a DocuSign right there for SharePoint Online, for electronically signing documents right within SharePoint. I can even do a little search here if I want to find different apps that are out there. Maybe I'm trying to build a sales team site. I can go out there and look, oh, here's some simple CRM applications. Here's an app for printing sales orders, things like that. Let's see, let's maybe look at as a consulting business. Oh, here's a little consulting practice app where I can track clients and projects and things like that. A lot of them are free, some of them cost. Great capabilities to go in and add apps, lists, libraries, apps, existing apps, apps from the SharePoint store for really customizing that experience for SharePoint. So that was just a quick kind of overview of the capabilities. I hope it helped you get a sense for what Office 365 is capable of and what the experience is like. And thanks for watching.